Why, hello there. Happy Thursday, everyone. We made it to the last Thursday of January. That's right, it's January 27th. And I'm looking through my Google News feed, and I came across this gem. I haven't really read it in full, but let's go ahead and read it now together for the first time. Texas House Dems mad wants Fed to arrest Abbott is the title I'm going with. It might actually be clickbaity, but I'm pretty sure a lot of people want Abbott arrested. The governor of Texas. Oh, why did you do this to me, Firefox? There was a news article here from the American Statesman. Um, let's see here. Is it gonna go for me? It's not gonna go for me, is it? Interesting. Oh, there we go. After some technical difficulties, it's this right here that news sites are famous for. Whatever site that they purchase or template, if you click on here, it just goes away. It's rather annoying. But anyways, Texas House Democrats call for federal investigation into Abbott's Operation Lone Star. 50 Texas House Democrats have sent a letter to the U.S. Department of Justice and Homeland Security requesting federal investigations into Governor Greg Abbott's immigration and border policy known as Operation Lone Star, calling the initiative unconstitutional and violation of migrant civil and due process rights. Lawmakers' chief concern with Operation Lone Star is its novel approach to immigration enforcement, arresting and detaining migrants on state misdemeanor criminal trespassing charges. The letter sent Wednesday reads as part from its inception, Operation Lone Star has suffered from constitutional deficiency that upends our federal system of government. Governor Abbott has unreliably set the state's immigration policy to create a system of state immigration enforcement to be carried out by various state agencies. The letter goes on to argue that resulting swell migrant arrests has overwhelmed local court systems and do not have the resources to process the case in a timely manner and has led to some migrants remaining in state custody for weeks. Weeks! But yet the people that are arrested on January 6th spent months. Some some are still in prison, have not been tried yet, for weeks as they wait for a court date and a possible violation of their due process rights. Governor Abbott is draining our local criminal system and agencies to play politics with the border community. His creation of a separate criminal prosecution and detention system makes a mockery of due process rights found foundational to our nation's judicial process. Members of Texas House Representatives seeks answers and urge the Department of Justice to intervene and officially investigate the legality of this unsustainable and cruel program, said Rep. Martinez Gonzalez D. Clint in a news release sent out with the letter. Operation Lone Star is facing numerous legal challenges over its constitutionality, including disputes over more than 400 migrants arrests conducted during the program. A state district judge in Austin ruled one case this month that the policy is unconstitutional because it amounts to illegal enforcement of federal immigration laws. Separation of the from federal and state, which is an interesting approach to go about. But here's my issue: the federal government is not enforcing its own laws, so it's up to the states to enforce them. This is my issue. I mean, yes, enforce the federal laws saying that you have to remain in Mexico. Enforce the immigration laws instead of busing them into the country or flying them on a private jet and releasing them out into the public in Austin, not Austin, but America. Abbott wouldn't be doing this if the federal government would step up and its own immigration laws. Abbott launched Operation Lone Star in March 2021, announcing he was sending thousands of National Guard troops and Department of Public Safety officers to the border to curb a sharp increase of illegal immigration. Abbott has been an outspoken critic of the Biden administration's over its handling of the border. I mean, how is Biden handling other than ignoring it and letting people cross over? At least that's my opinion. Handling over the border and has widely touted that the issue is one of his priorities on his campaign trail as he seeks a third term. Texas will not sit idly by while President Biden and Texas Democrats support open border policies and abandon any pretense of rule of law. Instead, Governor Abbott launched Operation Lone Star to combat the smuggling of people and drugs, including deploying over 10,000 Texas National Guard soldiers and DPS troopers, erecting barriers, and building a Texas border wall to deter crossing. Abbott spokesperson said, or Nad Tosin said in a statement to the American Statesman. But Operation Lone Star has recently faced scrutiny from Republicans and Democrats after reports from the Army Times and the Texas Tribune indicating that troops deployed to the border as part of the program are facing poor living and working conditions as well as regular delays in payments. Ooh, this one's going to be a big one. The report also drew a connection between the operation and a recent string of suicides and suicide attempts among service members at the border, which Democrats reference in the letter. When Governor Abbott is in the political jam, he trashes out the Texas border and uses Texas soldiers as a campaign backdrop, and our men and women in uniform deserve better and are sick and tired of this treatment. No American soldier should have to wonder if they'll be able to provide for their family or pay rent. We urge the Department of Justice to launch an investigation into Operation Lone Star to protect Texans troops. Rep. Rafael Anchelas de Dallas said in a news release from the Mexican American Legislation Caucus. All 13 Democrats who represent Texas in the U.S. House, I think this is on the federal level, has called for an investigation into Operation Lone Star earlier this month. Abbott has pushed back against the criticism over Operation Lone Star. Texas Democrats are shilling for their liberal candidate for governor, Beto O'Rourke, who supports President Biden's reckless open border policies that has created a crisis along our southern border, including killing thousands through fentanyl overdoses and endangering the lives of women and children through human trafficking. Abbott campaign spokeswoman Renee Elza said in a statement to the Statesman. Are there any comments? I'm kind of curious. No, I'm not creating an account. It's not that important. But I get where they're coming from a legal standpoint of being constitutional, because you got federal laws and only the federal government can enforce federal laws. But the issue is the federal government is not enforcing said federal laws, and I understand the federal government is in charge of immigration, and if they're not enforcing immigration, the states have no choice but to enforce them themselves, and when they enforce them themselves, they get spanked. This happened, I think, in Arizona. I think it was Arizona when Arizona was enforcing immigration policy and they got spanked, and they had that sheriff that also got spanked, was brought on charges for falsely imprisoning people because he was arresting immigrants. And of course, Donald Trump pardoned him, and now he can no longer be sheriff. But either way, we have the federal government not enforcing laws. And I'm actually kind of torn on this, because if I want them to enforce federal laws through immigration, would I be a hypocrite for saying I don't want them to enforce marijuana laws that are benefiting Colorado and Washington in California. Would that make me a hypocrite if I want them to enforce one law but not the other law? But the issue is weed. I don't really think it's that big of a serious of thing. But however, illegal immigration is, drug smuggling is, coyotes, as in people that traffic kids and women. Not to mention, these people are being abused by these people that are smuggling them in, and we should deter that at all costs. This is a repercussion of the federal government not stepping up to the plate to enforce our immigration laws. They want the doors to be open. They want anybody and everybody to come to America, and America will crash because of it. Because there's only so many jobs available in the United States that we can't support the world's issues. If it was that dire, they'll go through asylum process and be either approved or denied before coming to America. There is a legal path, and that must be followed. This is not me being against immigration as a whole, because I do believe America needs immigration. We just don't need illegal immigration. As a whole, Western countries, as in Europe and the United States, Canada, the birth rate's dropping and jobs got to get filled, which means immigration has to fill in the gap. What I don't stand for is just crossing the border and now you get the same rights as American citizens because you illegally cross over. That is where I draw the line. If you want to legally come over here, be my guest. Get a visa, apply for citizenship, be my guest. Just don't cross the border illegally. That's where I draw the line. Leave a comment down below. Do you agree with the Democrats that Abbott must be arrested? This evil program must be stopped. Operation Lone Star is un-American. Or do you agree with my stance that Lone Star or Operation Lone Star needs to be expanded to all the other border states? Let me know in the comments down below. Smash the like and subscribe button on any and all platforms. But most importantly, have yourself a wonderful day, morning, or evening.